But that's one thing. If Sarkisian wants to beat his chest, I hear you. Everybody's politicking for their team right now. Lane Kiffin, I mean, the whole tale of the tape between them and Alabama. I mean, don't lose to 1-7 Kentucky. I mean, and even as late as Florida, yeah, it was still ahead of you. How can you, and you're going to have, and listen, I think that to keep the ACC champion, was it 18 teams now? The best out of 18, that's fine. It makes all those games mean something. The best of the Big 12, I think it's 16 now. That's fine. It makes those games relevant. But you're going to have some teams that are better, that are stronger. I'm not saying they deserve, Charlie. We're not getting to that. But you're going to have several teams that are stronger outside of the playoff that are in the playoff. And it is the conference expansion as far as within itself. The SEC being 16 and the ACC being 18 and the Big 10 being 18 or whatever it is. The way that the schedules, Purdue fired their coach. Rutgers is going to give Schiano an extension. Flip the schedules. I know it's not, neither one were a candidate, but damn it. If one's got to play Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, and the other plays none of them, well, I mean, you think that's balanced? So, and I know we're going to get, this is just a Band-Aid schedule. This is only 2 years, but this is the damn SEC that set this crap up. Texas they sure look like their best team, one of the best teams of the automatic. Well, guess what? There are other teams that appear to be that way too, that play tougher schedules. And I mean, it's just, it's the scheduling is never been more off balance. Never. And this has been a great season because, well, one, the obvious, 50 years too late, we got a 12-team playoff where, boom, all of a sudden, you just expanded him. That's going to happen regardless. I'm okay with the one team from there, but the conferences have to do a better job. And nobody's talking about Rutgers, Purdue. But that is so messed up.
The Big Ten has agreed to something that I am amazed that they got through, and that I don't think that the Southeastern Conference would ever agree to. But they've agreed to unbalanced permanent opponents. Some of them have one, some of them have two, some of them have none. And I think at least one team has three. Could you imagine Alabama agreeing? Yes, we want Auburn as a permanent opponent, but we also want Tennessee and LSU as permanent opponents. And say Texas A&M would only have one, or Florida would only have one. No, I don't. I'd love for them to be able to put it through there just to shut Alabama up, but I don't see it happening. I wasn't wild about this schedule either. And next year you're just going to flip the home and away, so we're going to have to deal with this again. And Texas's schedule would look a whole lot better if Oklahoma and Florida were where they usually are and not where they were this year.
Charlie, you love to kill Alabama, okay? But at least Alabama's two that they want to play. Auburn and Tennessee are resource-heavy programs. This is a totally different level deal.
Right.
Well, you let them skate through this BS.
And this is why I want to make sure that when the final thing comes out, that there is some kind of balance to it, okay? From year to year, you're going to have teams that have easier schedules. I get that, okay? Florida's not good this year. Ole Miss is better than they usually are. South Carolina's better than they usually are. Oklahoma's not as good as they usually are. From year to year, you're going to have that. I don't want this to be a permanent imbalance where you got to play this team every year. That was my big gripe with Florida. I don't mind that LSU plays Florida. I like that LSU played Florida. I don't think that they should have had to play Florida every single year. And I'm gonna stand by that. So whether it's 8 teams or 9 teams
that are what make college football what it is too, Charlie.
And
there's some value to that.
Some of those should be protected. I'm not saying it should be completely gone.
Do you watch Auburn and Alabama every year?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
The Iron Bowl should be protected, and the Egg Bowl should be protected. And I think that Texas and Oklahoma should be protected. And probably, games that are.
Well, Texas is going to play Oklahoma and A&M, and they're resource heavy too.
Now that's 2. Okay. If you're going to give them 2 permanent opponents, you got to give everybody else 2 permanent opponents. And are we going to protect the non-conference rivalries too? Because that's important where the last week of the season is concerned. I'm fine with LSU playing Oklahoma but that's a conference game. I got to protect Florida State. I got to protect Georgia Tech. I got to protect South Carolina, Clemson. I guess I got to protect Louisville and Kentucky too. Those are non-conference games that are played the last week of the season. So
why do you have to protect those? Those are, the teams make their own non-conference schedules.
Well, okay, but if they do that, it means that they can't play a conference game the last week of the regular season. So, and LSU does. Well, because they play those games the last week of the regular season.
That doesn't mean that. They set their own schedule, Charlie.
Well, okay, if you want to move Florida and Florida State somewhere else, let me just put it as plain as I can put it. I don't think that you should have to play 2 or 3 teams out of the top half of the league when somebody else gets to play 2 or 3 out of the bottom half of the league. And if there's a year where Auburn and Florida are not as good as South Carolina and Ole Miss, and so be it. But we know that there is a traditional balance of power in this league, and we know where the resources are. So just don't stick me with Oklahoma and Florida every year when somebody else is going to get Vandy and Mississippi State. That's all I'm saying. When you put this final schedule together, 8 or 9 teams, make sure there's some balance to it. Yeah, I'd like to protect the rivalries, but I'm not for protecting 3 of Alabama's rivalries at the expense of balance.
Who's talking about 3?
Well, Auburn and Tennessee, and if you're going to put LSU in there. Every time they talk about permanent schedules, they talk about Alabama, LSU, because the game's very valuable to the networks. So that's 3 for Alabama.
Well,
that's 3 resource-rich programs.
Alabama's not begging to play LSU every year.
They're not, but the league certainly is.
Well, the league, what should be more valuable? The historical. Nick Saban talked about it on game day Saturday. He says it's rivalry week. Some of the rivalries are born out of proximity. 2 teams within the state: Auburn, Alabama, Texas A&M, some others, Georgia Tech, and you got some others like Alabama and LSU were built because something will be at consequence. There, Oklahoma, Nebraska. Something was at consequence. Yeah. Every year in the Big 8, then the Big, not in the Big 12 when they put them, but still, they Miami, Florida State. That was both. But I mean, what do you value more as a league? Is if I think Auburn and Alabama on an annual basis can be, close. I think is close to the draw that LSU Alabama is. Now, and we're talking about LSU and Alabama. We're going to go back where LSU's always going to be in a top 5 team.
No, that's the thing.
You can't guarantee that.
No, and that's why I want.
And so the Oklahoma, Nebraska ain't what it used to be. Miami, Florida State's not what it used to be.
Right.
So you can't guarantee that those teams are going to be top 5, top 10 all the time.
I can't, and that's why I want a rotation. And if you catch a year where all of you, the people that rotate on your schedule are good or bad, that's just how that goes.
Okay, so the LSU fan base, who do they want to see every year?
I would think if you poll the LSU fan base right now, they would want LSU to play Alabama every year.
I think so too.
Okay.
Well, you see does it not bring the most juice to the campus?
Yes, it does. But I would also tell you that there would be a lot of juice if Georgia came here. There'd be plenty of juice if Texas came here. My point is, it's not the only rivalry. I mean, those teams that LSU doesn't
because
traditionally
there's not as much history.
Not as much history.
And that's part of college football is its history.
And I think that there are some rivalries that should be protected.
I mean, LSU Ole Miss was, and it's kind of faded.
But because the secondary rivalries to me are not worth protecting at the expense of balance. Okay, I think Auburn and Alabama is worth protecting. I think Georgia and Florida is worth protecting. I don't think Auburn and Georgia is worth protecting. That's me. In the semblance of, in the interest of balance. Okay, you get one. Okay, pick whichever one is most important to you, but you get one. Texas can have Texas A&M, or they can have Oklahoma. You don't get them both. The rest of them are going to rotate. That's my opinion. The league is still kicking this can down the road.
You don't want to see Texas A&M and Texas Oklahoma?
I do, Jimmy, but I don't want to see it at the expense of Georgia never going to Texas A&M after they've been in the league for 13 years.
Well, Charlie, you keep expanding every damn 5 years. You're not going to be able to make the trips every so often.
I think you should be able to make them more than once a decade.
We're way overdue. Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title, Chad Reynolds, and Legacy Title for all your real estate closings. 296-0060. Full service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional services, which you get when you call 296-0060. Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title. 296-0060.
Live at Walk-Ons in Brusly, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Get your home holiday ready with Cajun Soft Wash. They can remove dirt, grime, mold, mildew, and make your home shine just in time for festive gatherings. You never have to lift a finger. Let Cajun Soft Wash get your home and roof sparkling clean this holiday season. Book now at CajunSoftWash.com.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Previous hailstorms have caused hidden damage to countless Baton Rouge homes. Ryson Roofing spots the damage, makes the claim, and replaces your roof. You pay only your insurance deductible. Never anything more. Call Ryson Roofing today and schedule your free inspection. 330-3513. RysonRoofing.com.
Sometimes it's so hard to find someone to do home repair, odd jobs due to storm damage, or just regular wear and tear over time to your home. Do like I did and call Clean Sweep Restoration and Demolition. Roofing, flooring, debris removal, electric, sheetrock, painting, and much more. Pretty much whatever home maintenance you need, Clean Sweep can handle it. Call Pat Green at 300-7064 for free, no obligation estimate. Fully licensed and insured, reasonably priced, and for over 20 years in the greater Baton Rouge area. Clean Sweep Restoration and Demolition, 300-7064.
Total Maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies since 1980. Service today, every day. Nobody likes to go to sleep hot. With a full staff in both Baton Rouge and New Orleans, Total Maintenance is an authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem AC units, and Generac and Cummings generators. In Baton Rouge, call 480-1000. In New Orleans, 841-3300. Total Maintenance, your authorized AC dealer.
Ice skating on the river is back at the Raising Cane's River Center Arena from December 18th through January 2nd. It's an unforgettable skating experience. Whether you're a seasoned pro or lacing up for the first time, there's fun for everyone. Bring your family, friends, and holiday spirit to skate in this winter wonderland. Visit RaisingCanesRiverCenter.com for times, dates, and tickets. Proudly brought to you by Investar Bank, Guarantee Media, and Acadian Ambulance.
Great. Your windshield cracked. Now what? Call Advanced Windshield. You have things to do. That's why they come to you. Advanced Windshield is the leading mobile, auto glass, and camera calibration provider in our area. Call 25248-6788 or visit advancedwindshield.com.
Hi, this is Jake and James of Trash Rangers of Louisiana. Have a question, a problem? Call us. We answer the phone. 225-363-9053.
Relief Windows, locally owned and operated. Visit reliefwindows.com.
Jimmy, Charlie, and Troy. Three best buddies sitting around talking sports bets. Let's welcome in Troy Macker from Bet Rivers.
Troy, how was your holiday weekend, sir?
It was good. It was tiring. There's little kids and trying to weather a storm of sickness and whatnot. But the sports certainly made up for it because it was wild and wacky all weekend.
No doubt, man. Rivalry week in the NFL lived up to it. Kind of a chalk day, especially. It was a dangerous chalk day for your survivor pools, for your money line parlays. But the favorites hold on, thanks to the Bears on the sideline and at quarterback for letting the clock run out. And also, on Black Friday, Kansas City survived another tight one against the Raiders.
Yeah, those two, the Bears game and the Chiefs game, were the two biggest wins for the sports book. The Lions Bears on Thursday was actually probably our second biggest win for the sports book all season. That was probably the best result possible. A lot of money on the over that didn't hit. The Bears cover or the Lions covering was a massive amount of money that didn't hit. And, while we did take a lot of money on the Lions to win on the money line, it was a really short price. And we actually took more money on the Bears to win that game than we did on the Texans to win, than on the Commanders to win, on some of these lopsided Sunday games. So, we actually probably would have lost more money if the Bears had won. So that was a great result. But then you look at Sunday, and if we're just looking at the 15 games actually total thus far that have been played in week 13, we've lost money on 10 of the 15 games. The problem is that 2 of those games, the ones I just mentioned, Chiefs, Raiders, and Lions, Bears, were huge wins for the sports book. But Sunday was losses across the board as far as total wins go.
You had some rivalry games that were close and competitive for a while, and then finally covered at the end. Alabama was competitive, but they cover at the end. Florida with a late touchdown. James Franklin, it didn't affect the spread, but on the last play of the game, he certainly threw a 15-yard touchdown pass to extend the lead, and he got a little feisty in the post game after, and then straight up, South Carolina hung around. Stole it,
Yep.
Very similar to the Florida State-Clemson game last year in Death Valley. And so, how was the big money movers with the and I guess Georgia may have people had some money line implications as well.
Well, it's really funny looking at a lot of these the results of the total money that we won or lost on these games. Is I'm seeing a lot of small numbers. Like we on the Georgia Tech game. I can tell you the exact amount of money that it's so small that the sportsbook won, $133. That's how narrow it was. There were a ton of games that the margins were less than 1%, in a lot of cases less than 0.5%, just because there was even money on both sides. And the interesting thing is if you have a game that is tight in the fourth quarter and it really stretches out of the fourth quarter. You see a lot of live action pick up there, but you would think maybe that extends to overtime and second overtime and third overtime and all the way to 8th overtime, but it really didn't. We didn't take a lot of action because it's really hard for those lines to reset. So I was kind of anticipating that Georgia Tech game to have a ton of money wagered, but then looking back at kind of what we offer and how quick we are able to get stuff up, especially during the new, once you get past the 4th overtime period where it's just you're basically going shot for shot. We don't have the ability to offer odds as quickly, and it's only win or lose at that point. But yeah, it was a fascinating game and a lot of great storylines that aren't really betting related. Whether or not to run up the score, I actually agree with what Coach Franklin had to say. The whole planting of the flag thing, which is ridiculous. But hey, if you don't want someone planting your flag, don't lose the game. You had an opportunity for 40 minutes to fight for your home turf, and you didn't do it. So super fascinating week, and really brought out the talking points, which is, I think is good because I'm kind of tired of talking about whether or not the 12th or 13th team should get into the playoff. I'd much rather talk about these kind of more nuanced things, like whether or not you run up the score if your 3s and 4s are getting in the game for the first time.
Yeah, and Tulane blows their chance at outside chance of the playoff because, they're in position. If UNLV pulls the upset, would they hop Tulane? Don't know. It would have been close, but they certainly kill that opportunity as well. Charlie, am I missing something? When does plant the flag thing? I know Baker Mayfield did it when Oklahoma went to Ohio State, and I haven't seen it since. Where am I missing?
There's other versions of plant the flag. You had the stomping on the eye at LSU. So it's
okay. Stomping on your all right.
On the eye,
okay.
The Ole Miss Mississippi State when the guy took a leak like a dog.
Yeah,
that's just
peeing on the
just
logo in the
ignorant,
end zone. Yeah. So you've had other versions of plant the flag, and it usually gets everybody's dander up pretty good.
So we'll yes, it's a little bit insightful, and there's a lot more hits delivered by Ohio State after the game than during the game. So
$100,000 fine, I think, is what they settled on
both
teams.
And no suspensions for the playoff game for Ohio State. Huh?
No.
Yeah, they had umpteen guys sit out the COVID Bowl against Alabama. That they're not doing that again. Troy, what about the NFL with some of the who are the big winners and losers for the house?
Yeah, the Texans money line and the Buccaneers money line. Those were the two most popular plays of the weekend. So those were really important wins, both very close. And an interesting thing is the Panthers are actually they've covered 4 in a row, I believe, and 5 of their last 6. and they're actually in a really good position because they continue to lose games, but they're covering. So their team's getting better, but they're in a position to get a high draft pick, which is good for a team that at the beginning of the season looked like they were, maybe in the worst position of any team in the NFL going forward. But, the Texans did not cover. Neither did the Buccaneers. Those were the two strongest plays by tickets, 78.2 and 78.1%. On the money, the Rams -2.5 at New Orleans. I honestly forgot that game even took place. That was a game that did not even scratch the radar of the 1 p.m. games because of some of the other things that were going on. But 76% of the money was on the Rams to cover. And really the biggest wagers and everything was on Thursday and Friday, and the Buffalo Bills 49ers. And I was on a bad beat. Once I saw it start to snow, I tried to get an under bet in. The under had moved from 48.5 to 44.5. And the final score is 45. So that was a kick in the teeth there because the 49ers just weren't competitive. And Allen is playing like an MVP and had that bonkers touchdown at the end. But big wins on Buffalo -6 and Buffalo money line as well. They were popular plays that heavily wagered on games.
Bryce Young is having a little bit of a rebound, and we were laughing watching it at the sportsbook like, look, completed this guy. Who's that? He completed this guy. Who's that? I mean, he doesn't have a supporting cast, but he has sped things up after sitting on the bench and watching Andy Dalton a little bit. He's only thrown 1 interception in the last 4 games. The team, the Carolina Panthers, they beat the Saints by 1, beat the Giants by 3, lose to KC by 3, lose to Tampa Bay by 3. 3 points or less in the last 4 games, 2-2 in those games, and very uncharacteristic for Chuba Hubbard to cough up that ball when they were in field goal range. Pinheiro had missed a field goal earlier in the game. This field goals, we'll get to that a little bit later, Justin Tucker. But he's, don't give up on him just yet. And he looks like he is kind of solidifying at least. Okay, how far was the gap, Charlie, between Stroud and Young entering the season? How far is it now?
It was Grand Canyon size at the beginning of the season, and Stroud has regressed for whatever reason in his sophomore season. He's not playing terrible, but he's certainly not playing at the level he was last year, and Young has improved.
There's let's not compare Hubbard is a nice back. He's a nice back for Carolina, but that's about it.
Thielen's actually found a fountain of youth here the last couple of weeks. I don't know what that's about. But no, he doesn't have the
He's
kind
got
of
his hands. He just can't sell. At all.
Was he 34 years old now?
He's 4 or 5 years past his prime.
Yeah.
But, he if he gets it to him, he's going to catch it. Yes. And he had one overturned that I thought was a catch where he got the knee down on 4th down in the end zone. But still, Young looks like he's solidified. And we saw him, and he didn't have – you play with Alabama, but it wasn't the most loaded deck like some other quarterbacks had at Alabama, like Hurts and Tua. But I think he's solidifying himself as a long-term NFL quarterback. We'll see. What about tonight's game? What are we looking at, Troy?
Yeah, right now it's pretty heavy money in the favor of the Broncos. They've played very well the last few weeks. And Bo Nix is certainly rising up the ranks of the Rookie of the Year conversation. I think is going to be interesting given what Jalen Daniels did. So Bo Nix does need to have a pretty good game. But right now we're looking at about 88% of the money and 86% of the tickets on the Broncos to win, 76% of the money and 73% of the tickets on the Broncos to cover. 60% of the money and 68% of the tickets on the over. The Broncos have won 13 of 15 against the Browns, and the Broncos have covered the spread in 6 straight as favorites. I'm not so sure about the cover tonight, but I do like the Broncos to win. They've been playing very well, and Sean Payton does feel like he's found his groove again, and they got rid of Jerry Jeudy. The offense seems to be clicking a little more. They still don't have the world's best offense, but Bo Nix seems to be a longtime starting quarterback in the NFL, which is and can play in Sean Payton's system, which should pay dividends over the next few years.
Troy, follow Troy on Twitter at Troy Macker. That's MACHIR. Good job, Troy. We'll talk to you on Friday. Thank you, buddy.
Sounds good. Have a good one, guys.
Don't forget our friends at MR Property Group, buying, selling, or investing LSU alums and LSU sports fans, Miriam Del Rio and Remy Curry. Make for a more pleasant experience in partnering up with some common interests. Low pressure suggestions when asked, finding the options that you are interested. We understand there are no dumb questions when it comes to this process. This is an important decision, important transaction in your life. Hey, how about for the sellers? You're thinking about selling. You may not realize just how much equity you have in your home. And at MR Property Group, Miriam and Remy have a great track record of producing top dollars for the seller in all areas of Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas. MR Property Group with Keller Williams Red Stick Partners in Baton Rouge, 230-4242, 230-4242.
Live at the Walk-Ons in Brusly, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Football season is back, and the best place to watch all the action all season long is at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus, Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana, with wall-to-wall TVs and award-winning jumbo chicken wings. What more could you possibly want? Pluckers is also a great spot to host your fantasy football draft, with the commissioner getting a gift card when you schedule in advance. Make sure Pluckers is part of your game day plans every game day all season long. Pluckers, if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
This is Charles Hanniger for Supreme Rice. We always ask you to support our Louisiana farmers. Well, Supreme Rice has a long history of working with those Louisiana farmers in developing and maintaining sustainable farming practices. And now their Climate Smart program supports farming practices that reduce methane emissions and support water conservation, positively impacting the longevity of rice farming for future generations. So the next time you shop for rice, make it Supreme Rice. For more information and great recipes, go to supremerice.com and look for the Climate Smart logo on Supreme Rice bags coming soon.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the propane tank on your grill first before hosting a tailgate.
Let's fire up. Here, let me try. Seriously? You didn't check the propane? Who wants chips?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Salt and vinegar?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
With over 40 years in business representing the same manufacturer, Gulf Coast Office Products is committed to bringing Savin office equipment solutions to the Louisiana market. With flexible leasing programs available, Gulf Coast can accommodate your budget and customize invoicing requirements to help streamline your business. As official partners of LSU and ULL Athletics, Savin and Gulf Coast, with over 100 employees, care about our community and their customers. You're just one phone call away. 225-756-2644 for a free analysis. Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is Chuck Oliver. Listen to me as we talk college football all year long, weeknights at 6 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. It's brought to you locally by Louisiana Turf Company. Visit them at louisianaturf.com.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Walk-Ons in Brusly on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Adam Schefter reporting that the tests on Saints Taysom Hill is that he is out for the season. Just another in a long, long line of injuries for the Saints this season. They've been without
too.
What's that?
He's torn his ACL before. BYU.
Yeah, that's right. The Saints, you really begin to wonder about what's going on in that facility, and I'm not blaming this on anybody. A lot of this stuff is, just kind of been happenstance between the Saints and the Pelicans. I can't really wrap my head around the sheer volume of injuries. The Saints have been without Rashid Shaheed for most of the season. They've been without Taysom Hill. They've been without Eric McCoy. They've been without Chris Olave. At times, they have been without pieces in the secondary. They've been without Paulson Adebo for the last 6 weeks. They traded away Marshawn Lattimore. Even Tyrann Mathieu, who has been pretty durable, limped off the field again yesterday. It doesn't mean that I think that the Saints are going in the right direction, or that the management style is conducive. But they have had a ton of injuries, and Taysom Hill just the latest in that line. A nasty looking hit yesterday. And he will miss the final 5 games of the regular season. Back with hour number 2. We are here at Walk-Ons in Brusly. Come on out and see us here on Highway 1. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
GMFS, changing lives. This is Ryan LaRusso with GMFS Mortgage, and our team specializes in helping first-time home buyers just like yourself achieve the homeownership goals. With competitive rates and unmatched personal service and over 23 years of experience, our team will get the best mortgage product available for you and your family. Don't let the complexity of the mortgage process hold you back from your homeownership dreams. Give us a call today at 225-214-5153. That's 225-214-5153. If you or someone that you love is looking to buy, go with a company that's been in Baton Rouge for over 25 years. GMFS Mortgage. And my team, the LaRusso team, is looking forward to serving you.
GMFS, changing lives. MLS number 96565. GMFS MLS number 64997 is an equal housing lender. Mortgages originated at 7389 Florida Boulevard, Suite 200A, Baton Rouge, LA 706.
People ask me all the time, where's a good place to go eat? My lock that never misses? Louisiana Lanyap. I've never had anybody disappointed. The snapper and papillote and the cocodrie are staples. Some of my favorites start off with the marinated crab claws or the oysters lanyap. For an entree, seafood stuffed bell peppers. Got a little kick to them now, so watch out. And blueberry bread pudding for dessert. Nobody has collected more 225 Best of Awards than Louisiana Lanyap. 9990 Perkins Road near Bluebonnet, where you always get a little something extra.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large, because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call Grainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic ticket? Everyone makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the law offices of O.C. Brown. If you find yourself in an unfortunate situation with the law, call us today and we can help you resolve your problem, whether it's just a traffic matter or something more serious. No criminal matter is too big or too small for us to aggressively and effectively represent you. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
Fall sports are here, and if your child is having joint or muscle pain or has sustained an injury, call Evolve PT and Sports. Evolve is locally owned by a physical therapist highly skilled in manual therapy and return to sports rehab. Not being pushed, paying a copay, and just getting handed 45 minutes of exercises that you can find on Google, then you're not getting rehab. Our therapists are on the floor working with you or monitoring you at all times. No writing notes during treatment in our clinic. Come to the Orthopedic Outpatient Clinic in Baton Rouge, Evolve PT and Sports. Schedule your appointment today at evolvept.com.
Hi, this is Gordy Rush, inviting you to elevate brand visibility and ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Introducing Guarantee Media Digital. Secure your free digital audit now at guaranteemedia.com.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Walk-Ons in Brusly on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Beautiful day here on the west side here in Brusly. Come by and see us here at Walk-Ons. Get a cool meal, watch the games, Monday Night Football. Great for the seasonal brews as well to get in here, get a cold one here during the holiday season. They've got but 4 dozen beers on draft, and some of those they allocate some of those tabs for ones that they change out by the season. So come on here to Walk-Ons in Brusly, have lunch with us. A couple of notes. We're going to be watching transfer portal real heavy. Miller Moss has put his name in the transfer portal, a quarterback from USC who was benched with 3 games to go in the season, was statistically was having an interesting year. He threw in his career for about 3,500 yards. Of course, had a really nice game against LSU. But he will be moving on, saying he's looking for a contender next year. Got to sting Lincoln Riley just a little bit. He's supposed to be the quarterback guru. And one that caught my attention, Georgia Tech offensive tackle Corey Robinson, which is not going to be a name that's familiar to anybody, but he started 9 games for Georgia Tech. He plays offensive tackle, and according to Pro Football Focus, he had the highest pass protection grade in the country. Just throwing that out there for teams that are looking for offensive linemen, local teams that are looking for offensive linemen in the portal. Just a note as we move forward here. All right, Jimmy, between Ohio State's loss to Michigan, Miami's loss to Syracuse, Clemson's loss, but still getting into the ACC championship game, Tennessee's win, Arizona State's win, Iowa State's win. We got a good shakeup of what the college football playoff might look like with championship weekend to go. So you tell me, and of course Texas's win, which we've already talked about. You tell me, what was the most startling?
Well, Arizona State being a bad Arizona team. I mean, they've been bad. That's, and it was, they took care of business, though. They didn't play with their food. They put them away, and, it was, but not exactly impressive. Iowa State kind of had control of that game, and somewhat comfortably, if I want to push it there, but they, at home, they're tough. Not a complete surprise there either, but K-State certainly a tougher out. Go back to the start of the season, man. Are you sure you want to push McCord out? I mean, he's going to be better in year 2 than year 1.
I think Ohio State would have liked to have had him on Saturday, given their offensive performance.
I mean, and Will Howard's performance specifically. I mean, both of them. I mean, he was bad. Look, Michigan's quarterback was bad too. But I mean, that interception to the linebacker. Oh gosh, I mean, that is horrendous. But Ohio State choked, man. But they wanted a guy with a little bit more mobility, a little bit more legs than McCord. And McCord, though, and he had a hiccup this year earlier against Pitt and against Stanford. But
the Pitt game was a disaster. That was the 5 interception disaster.
Stanford wasn't good either, but it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
He threw for about 1,500 more yards than Ohio State. And Ohio State's receivers are A+. I mean, Smith and Jupa, whatever his name is. I mean, them cats are good, man. Really good. And he put up more numbers, at Syracuse. So
4,400 yards to 2,800 yards.
1,600 more yards. He threw a couple more interceptions, but he threw more TDs as well.
He threw 12 interceptions, and Howard threw 8.
And he certainly he probably knocked out a team that was as opposed to another team that they show a lot more fight when the clock went zero than what they did within those 60 minutes of playing time.
And Will Howard is certainly more mobile, and I know that you got to take the sacks out of it, but he rushed for 131 yards.
Will Howard?
Yeah. Now
McCord can't do that.
You had the sacks back in, and he's probably
You talking
double
about
that.
Saturday at 130?
No, for the season.
For the season.
Now you got to
Okay.
take the sacks out.
Okay.
So you take the sacks out, he's probably up somewhere between 300 and 400 yards. But it wasn't like he ran all over. He's more mobile than McCord for sure, but he didn't have a dominant rushing season for them either.
No, he's not a Milroe. He's not, the kid for A&M. He's not that guy, but he's more mobile. Kansas State did run him design runs way more often than you're ever going to see. McCord strictly a pocket passer, but I mean, you break up that continuity. You have him for that second. You played him year one to reap the benefits in year two, and I thought that was was Howard that much better? Howard regressed at Kansas State his last year, and he was poor on Saturday. He was.
South Carolina and Clemson was a fascinating game. I mean, we both liked South Carolina. We thought they were the better team. This was a really competitive game. The yardstick was almost identical, and I thought that Cade Klubnik played pretty well. I mean, he did play better than pretty well. Played really, really well. But Lenore Sellers was better, just a little bit better. He made the plays. Jimmy, watching him run in the fourth quarter of that game, I hate to put him up against one of the best seasons ever, but just in that quarter, just in that second half, maybe, boy, he looked like Cam Newton. I mean, watching him run away from people at his size,
he looked like Cam Newton against LSU.
Yeah, for a half. Yeah, before he got hurt, he looked like a first round pick at that time. Now, he's just
think
a freshman.
His throwing numbers are.
For a freshman, I see enough to build on.
Yeah,
they're not there yet, but give him some more time. Do I want to see what?
Would I be Sellers over a Mensa? Tulane, true freshman. You think these guys?
Mensa probably had the better season throwing the football,
but he's playing at a lower league. Dude.
He is. If you ask me which one of those guys would I like to have to start next year, I would take Sellers. In fact, you based on who's coming back in college football, you'd be hard pressed to find anybody I'd take coming back at quarterback.
Yeah,
over
this is his
Sellers.
first year starting, and
yeah.
He had some inconsistencies, and and with another year, he may be able to do it. And a lot of it was strictly, I thought the Clemson was the better team. I thought we had the wrong side for quite the time, but they hung around. This game reminded me so much of the Florida State at Clemson game a year ago, where Clemson should have won the game, but Florida State kind of hung around, and they won it at the end. And the plays that led to the only 2 touchdowns for South Carolina, plays that led to it, and the plays, the scoring plays, were Sellers' improvisational called passing plays where he just broke it down and on his own and said, I don't have a combination of protection and guys open. I'm just doing it on my own. And unbelievable runs to score those touchdowns and unbelievable runs to set them up as well. So it was a case where Dabo Swinney, they really game plan the heck out of South Carolina, because they had to go off script. Sellers specifically had to go off script to kind of make those plays by himself. And that's the thing that drives Saban crazy. That's the thing you can't prepare for. When you got everything in place, you got everything covered, you got everything matched up personnel, and this guy's just too good of an athlete. He turns it into a high school game where your best athlete is playing quarterback, and they just, hey, go make a play.
Now, even with all that, we like to talk about end-of-game situations. South Carolina, Clemson's got the ball at the 18-yard line. There's 12 seconds to go, and they've got a timeout left. Okay, so it's a 36-yard field goal from there, which is clearly makeable, but they decided to run another play. It was second down with 12 seconds to go. he put the ball in the hands of Klubnik, it's his quarterback. He trusts him, and the ball goes off his receiver's hands, and it's intercepted. So I didn't hate the call. I would have second down with a timeout in my pocket, a 35-yard field goal, 36-yard field goal is certainly a high percentage, but not a given at the college level. I would have let him run another play, but it backfired on him. Did you hate?
Oh, Charlie, you're gonna kick the call, the field goal with 12 seconds and a timeout left?
No, I'm gonna run a play.
Absolutely, everybody is.
I'm gonna run a play.
Okay, I mean it was a little bit flukish, a little bit bad luck. And listen, I watch enough of this. I don't care who you are as a kicker. That college place kicking is a crapshoot. It's not the NFL. I mean, it is from the snapper to the holder to the kicker. You see, it's just not a guarantee.
Right.
And you say you kick that with the 12 seconds in a timeout. Oh, you deserve to be criticized way more than, hey, I'm going to let my quarterback, who Klubnik's got a bunch of starts now. Is he playing better?
He's playing great.
He's playing fine. He's playing fine. It takes some time. Doug Nussmeier is going to be really good last year. Called him his dad. So but it's just a little bit behind him. It ricochets up and right. I mean, the guy barely. It's just kind of I turned my second away from that game to watch the others, and we met the Queen, and I'm watching all the games, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, I couldn't believe it. There was a turnover there. I just really couldn't believe it was low percentage, but you still gotta give it a shot. I mean, I almost would have called maybe a quarterback keeper with him the way he was.
Well, that was my
running
next.
Too, you know, I mean,
that's my
he had
next
a really
question.
good run too. It's safer, but man, that's a pretty safe throw. It just a little bit off. Bad break on the deflection where the defensive or the linebacker or safety barely has enough time to get it before it hits the ground. That's just a tough deal, man.
That was my other thing. If you're going to throw, and you're not going to throw to the end zone, which would have
you want to force it into coverage where they have maybe some guys there.
Do you run a play in the middle of the field to get you 1 or 2 more yards, basically, and make sure there's no time left on the clock when you kick the ball? I guess you could have done that. Now you run the risk.
That's what he's doing.
He's
throwing underneath to the tight end.
Yeah. So you're running the risk if you run the football there that everybody on the defense is going to be clawing at it. So there's no 100% thing there. I didn't have a problem with what Dabo called. It didn't work out, but I didn't have a problem with what he called.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah,
I didn't either.
Tennessee spots Vanderbilt 2 scores in the first 5 minutes. Kickoff return to open the game for a touchdown, and then they get a turnover. They get a short field. They cash that in, and Tennessee's down 14-0 before they looked up. But it was I know you're a big believer in in-game wagering. I'm a lot more cautious about it. Just I don't do it as much. But in that case, you say, well, Tennessee goes to plus points there. And the 2 plays are low percentage plays. They're kind of flukish, if you will, not likely to reoccur. Getting Tennessee at that point, they dominated the game from that point forward.
That impressed me because, one was the opening kickoff return for a touchdown. And like you said, another. But Vandy was ready to play, man. Was Tennessee, who's owned this series, going to come in there, even with as much on the line. Would they just not take care of business? I was impressed. Not that they came back and won, but they came back and took care. It wasn't close. And after digging yourself a 14-point hole, that's hard to do against this capable team and this capable quarterback. And yes, the end game, I had some Vandy, but I certainly took some Tennessee at Pick'em and -4.5 when they scored 7 points. When they scored 7, I'll say, okay, this is a quick response. And no, they took care of it. Did they need that wake-up call? Did that wake them up? I don't know, but
maybe.
I mean, this is where Vanderbilt's got some guys that are getting into school there that normally, when that guy gets loose on the kickoff, guess what? They got a guy that can go. I mean, he was rolling, so they got a couple of guys that, targets, receivers, a few linemen. They said, finally, hey, we're going to have to relax the academic admissions for some of these football players if we're going to compete. We're either going to get out or take the money and try and, and make a run at this. And so, hey, look, man, nobody's flunking out of school anymore in the NIL transfer portal era. Nobody flunks out. Everybody gets the grades.
That's right. That's right. Hey, who would you vote? Who would you vote for SEC Coach of the Year? I mean, you could vote for Clark Lee. The 6-6 at Vanderbilt.
Clark Lee is under a lot of consideration.
Shane Beamer, a 9-3 season at South Carolina. Eli Drinkwitz 9-3 at Missouri.
No, too schedule related.
Okay. Those would be my two.
Beamer and Lee.
Yeah. Who would you vote for?
Lee.
Yeah. That's where I'm leaning to. 6-6 at Vanderbilt is a haul. Beating Alabama is a haul. Being within 3 points of Texas at Vandy is a haul, man.
They were competitive too. They lost by 7 at Tiger Stadium.
Yeah. I mean, no.
Well, that's how many Vandy teams do that.
It's hard to do. It's hard to do.
He's exceeded Vandy's expectations more in both. But Charlie, it's close.
Beamer's
give me an argument for Beamer as well.
Here's the argument for Beamer is that you went 9-3. You were better at the end. You closed strong. I love teams that do that. It tells me that they're coaching, that they're developing. You're better in November than you were in September. Lost to LSU, could have tied on the last play of the game. Lost to Alabama on the road, 2-point conversion. Your quarterback just missed an open receiver in the end zone, would have sent that to overtime. You got thumped against Ole Miss, okay? You caught Ole Miss when they were playing their best football. That's a hell of a year, man. That is a hell of a year for them.
Do you buy the argument for South Carolina to get in, that they got jobbed against LSU to the point where they don't get those calls? They're going to win the game?
No, I'm not playing the officials mistakes game if I'm talking about resumes. Not to that extent. Okay, maybe if it was a no call kind of thing and they're going to win the game. I don't know if South Carolina is going to win the game if one of those calls is reversed. I really don't. So I'm not playing that game with them. Nope. I could make a lot of other stronger cases for South Carolina based on how they played that are, I think, better arguments than an official missed a call somewhere.
Clemson had 6 block kicks this year.
Who's coaching their special teams, man? That's pretty good.
You can see why. But Dabo, the post game report said
they had 6 kicks blocked.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
This season.
Okay, all right. Well,
and but Klubnik was instructed to kind of go to throw it out or throw it away, kind of deal. Throw it into the end zone or away. So,
unfortunate for them.
But I don't have a problem with the checking down. You can get a face mask right there. You get a free play, inside the 5. I thought it was bad luck. I thought it was bad luck. It wasn't on target. It wasn't on target, and that created the carom, which led to the pick. But I made 6 block kicks. I'm fired in the end zone. Maybe I'm being a little bit more aggressive than that. So I don't know. Just a tough play. Look, Clemson fans don't want to hear any type of reasoning on when they lose to South Carolina. They hate them, Charlie. They hate them.
I'm aware. I've heard the story.
You had the best athlete on the field make a few plays, a handful of plays on his own, off script, that won the game. And that's period.
The game-winning run, the one that gave him the
first one.
Well, the first one was great too. But that last one, there ain't 5 players in college football can make.
And you should have seen a couple that set him up.
Yeah,
he had about 5 plays that nobody else in that field is going to make.
I can't give him a higher compliment than in the second half he looked like Cam Newton.
If he can get if you can trust his arm, if he can develop his arm, look out. And he's okay.
He's got plenty of
it. No. But accuracy, dependability, processing at the line, knowing where to go. Yeah,
play some more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's going to play some more. He's going to play some more. No doubt about that. Don't forget our friends at Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Lee, just off of Nicholson, right across from Mike Anderson's. My little stop on the way home, man. They've got the house-made tortillas, so I get the fajita steak tacos or the burritos. You can get the shredded chicken or the fajita grilled chicken. man, tacos, burritos, the guacamole is fresh with fresh jalapenos. Very good stuff. An extensive menu. Pizza, that's right. Mexican pizza is sort of an item that not a whole lot of authentic Mexican places make in town. So if you won't get that sticker shock when you get hit with your ticket at Los Reyes Mexican Grill, where it's happy hour 7 days a week, 2:30 to 6:30 on Lee, just off of Nicholson, across from Mike Anderson's.
Live at Walk-Ons in Brusly, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
The Thibodeau store and ThibodeauStore.com. Their Black Friday sale, huge response there, but more going on throughout the month of December. If you're buying, especially for Dad, who's a little bit tough to buy for, the Cajun Cooking Specialty cookware shipped right to your door if Dad is a chef. Give the gift of pizza this season. The miniature pizza ovens, the wood-burning pizza ovens, are on the website right now. How about the Big Green Egg Cookers for the ultimate cooking experience? Also on the website right now. You can shop a large variety of grills, and delivery is available from ThibodeauStore.com. Rather go with the gift of tools. Big power and hand tool sales going on. Tool storage, the big rolling tool kits are available. Power tools, including your drills, your screwdrivers, your saws, all of them on the website right now. So check it out either online at ThibodeauStore.com. You want to go in person, open till 5:30 daily, 900 St. Patrick Highway at Thibodeau Store.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111 and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Lofton Staffing Services, 924-0200 and Lofton.jobs. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance. The LSU Alumni Association and the Cook Hotel and Conference Center. For reservations, thecookhotel.com.
In Louisiana, it's not if you're going to need a home standby generator. The question is when. Optimized Generator People are Louisiana's largest and best full-service Generac dealership with 4 locations covering all of South Louisiana from Lake Charles to Slidell. And they only do one thing: home standby Generac generators. Prepare now so you can stop worrying about not having emergency power when you need it. It's optimized. GeneratorPeople.com. GeneratorPeople.com.
Water is water, right? Not when it's Evermore. Smooth tasting Evermore water is Mother Nature's masterpiece. Evermore is natural artesian water. Maybe you want a healthier lifestyle, a high-end athlete who wants better hydration, or a parent who wants something healthier for their kids. You want Evermore. EVAMOR. Evermore. Available at great local retailers.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, downtown facing Town Square. At Jolie Pearl, we're pretty shucking good. Louisiana Lanyap on Perkins and Bluebonnet. Winner of the most 225's Best of Awards. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Finbom, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee, and Phil's Oyster Bar since 1950 on Government Street and now in the South Downs Shopping Center.
At the Renaissance Hotel in Baton Rouge, when it comes to hosting your meeting or event, we're in the business of saying yes. From our intimate boardrooms that can accommodate as few as a dozen people to our extravagant ballroom that can host events for 500 people, the Renaissance Hotel wants to make your next event unforgettable. To book your next event, call the Renaissance Hotel today at 215-7000. That's 215-7000, 215-7000.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be complicated. I'm Antonio Cousin with Service First Real Estate. We're here to guide you every step of the way. Visit 225re.com. Service First Real Estate, the team that values relationships over transactions.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Glow Resources, complete employer solutions. GlowResources.com.
Rouge with Ott and Hanny from Walk-Ons in Brusly on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
New episode of Handycast coming tonight. We'll break down the film of the Oklahoma game. That'll be up on YouTube probably later tonight. Of course, you can get the show on demand on LouisianaSports.net, 1045ESPN.com. Okay, Jimmy, who's your pick for Notre Dame wins? They're in the playoff. That, of course, we're going to get the Big 12 champion in the playoff.
See the game?
Which one?
USC.
Yeah, we had it on. I can't tell you I was watching it completely.
They went up and down
Yeah.
the field over 500 yards. And first in, it wasn't 10 or goals. It was either just inside the 10. I think it was around like the 11. The first pick six when they're down 7.
Yeah.
See what down it was?
First.
Of course. I mean,
I didn't have when you asked that question. I don't even have to see it. I know what you're.
Really?
But they're gonna be probably the 5 seed.
And the 5 might be better than the 1 seed. The 5
Well,
is matched up with the last team, the weakest team.
Right. You get the 12 to open, and then you get
It's at home,
and you're at home. So we
and
know
then you matched up with the weakest.
Right.
The weakest, automatic qualifier. I mean, bam, 2 games you're going to be favored in where you can put them in other seedings where they won't be favored.
Sure. Indiana's in. Tennessee is in. Penn State's going to be the number 2 seed tomorrow night when they announce all of this, which I don't want to say it makes me sick because I think Oregon will take care of them. And then
that's not going to be in the bracket, though.
No. It's where they'll be tomorrow night. And I can think of at least 6, if not more, teams that I think would beat Penn State on a neutral field. Right off the top of my head.
That's a lot. Well, that's
but
going to be that's not unique to this bracket here, boy, and the ones that are left home.
And Ohio State will still get in even with the loss. So that brings us down to the end of this thing, which is who do you like for the last spot? So, Jimmy, if these are your choices, if you want to write somebody else in, go ahead. Miami, after having lost their second game, not in the ACC championship game.
No.
Alabama, Ole Miss, SMU if they lose to Clemson this week. Those are the 4 teams I got on and South Carolina. Those are the 5 teams I got on the board for the last spot.
That's the ones.
Yeah.
Those are the ones under consideration.
Okay. Who would you take? You want me to go first?
I think South Carolina.
Okay.
What are their best wins, though? At Clemson?
At Clemson. Texas A&M.
That's about it, huh? That's about it.
Got to win it against Missouri, who's won.
Come on,
Missouri won 9 games.
No, man, no. Pass.
Okay, then that's the best I can do.
That's schedule related. 9-3, if there ever was one.
Okay.
They were one of those teams. They're not one of the hated. We don't hate Missouri like Texas. We don't even think they're in the SEC. They're not even a fit. Okay, the whole bit. They went to the SEC championship game twice. Who cares? I mean, but that schedule was 1A behind Texas, and Tennessee wasn't far behind as well. I mean, it was weak, and they needed all they could do. They needed a last-minute drive to beat Missouri at home. I'm not. Their losses are good, minus Ole Miss.
Yeah,
I don't care who you play. I don't care if you play the Eagles. You lose the way they did at home. I mean, no.
This is going to come against quality wins versus quality losses. Their 3 losses are all to good teams. Okay, and Alabama lost to 2 teams that were 6-6. But the quality wins favor Alabama. They beat Georgia. They beat South Carolina, which is the head-to-head. Okay, which I know the game was in Tuscaloosa, but you got to play it somewhere. And then they do have a win against an 8-win LSU team on the road and against a 9-win Missouri team. Regardless of how they got to 9 wins, those are nice wins that Alabama has besides Georgia.
Yeah, but if we're going to discount playing Florida with the Ivy League quarterback for Texas, you got to get those 2 that quarterback play was as bad as I've seen in the league this year. When Cook was about 20%, in the backup. That was
Okay,
bad.
that's fair. That's fair. There was a huge drop off to the kid from Notre Dame whose name I
And
can't
Ole Miss,
remember.
I think Ole Miss is the most dangerous team had they gotten in.
They would have been. This is different from deserving versus who I think is the best team. Out of those 5 teams that I just named, I might take SMU to beat them all. Okay, but I can't justify their resume. Off of the 3 SEC teams, Ole Miss, Alabama, and South Carolina, if you ask me playing this Saturday coming up, who would I take? I take South Carolina. Problem with that is they played Ole Miss and they played Alabama and they lost both games. I think South Carolina is playing the best out of all of those teams right now. But they played 2 of those teams and they lost, and I can't get past that. So it may shock you, but based on, and it pains me to say this, but based on the quality wins and the overall resume, I'd probably give it to Alabama.
Oh, my God.
You give it to South
Write
Carolina.
this down, Max.
I know.
Max.
I got to be
December
honest.
2nd, 2024. I mean, really? You are losing a lot of your popularity in town.
I understand, but I gotta be honest.
I can't believe you. I am shocked this is coming out of your mouth.
Do I think South Carolina's better than Alabama right now? I do, but I can't guarantee
It's close,
that.
Charlie. Look, man,
and they played and they lost.
You can have a round robin on a neutral.
Yeah.
And who the hell's going to win between those 3?
You might have a split.
You don't know.
Everybody, right? Exactly.
You don't know because we don't know who Jackson Dart's going to play the first 3 quarters against Florida or the last quarter.
And since
we don't
I
know
don't-
if Sellers is going to be on
Perfect. And since
know?
I don't know, I have to go with what I do know, which is the results on the field, which
Right.
is Alabama.
That's
beat 'em.
true. Okay.
So I mean, like I said, it pains me. I wish Sellers had hit the pass and they would have went to overtime.
And I think that's
but they
why
didn't.
the out, and I think it was FanDuel who put it out first over the weekend, and then they had Alabama's even money, and the rest were distant. Although they make SMU as a minus like $3, now they have a free swing.
Yeah.
So that would make it much easier. But you take a 2-loss SMU against a 3-loss Bama?
I wouldn't take them. If I were on the
I'm
committee,
not. What's the best wins there?
Right. SMU's best wins are Louisville and Duke.
Duke.
The 9 wins.
Okay.
Well, you asked me. I didn't say they were good. You asked me who the best was. Those were the best.
Check out some of those wins. They were miraculous, including against Northwestern,
And Duke-
where they should have lost to Northwestern.
Now, they turned the ball over 6 times against Duke, but I would take SMU in a game against Alabama, but I won't take their resume over Alabama's to put them in the playoff, if that makes any sense.
Alabama or SMU, sorry. No way SMU's getting in.
No.
Now, you believe Lane Kiffin?
Which part?
It's all about branding on Alabama versus Ole Miss?
No. I'm sorry. Alabama's got – they both have the 2 best wins, okay?
Are you sick? You
I might
all
be.
right?
I might be.
I mean, you have made your living. You have carved out your reputation.
I can only do that
I was
if I have
talking to
facts
Jake
to
Jack
back it
Johnson
up.
today. They said people were asking about it. I said, no, I'm just the co-host here. He's the star.
Right.
Okay. I mean, Hanny's a star. I mean, do you see the show he puts on down there? I was like, what do you do? You are making a case for Alabama when it's close.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
You have never given Alabama when it's close.
Alabama and Ole Miss both have the 2 best wins, right? Their 2 best wins are identical. They both beat Georgia and they both beat South Carolina. That's the 2 best wins
Well,
for both of them.
I hope best wins out, because at some point we have to do something for people to schedule better non-conference.
And here's why I'm backing
Charlie,
Alabama.
It's
if the wins are identical, then I got to look at the losses. And Alabama's got 2 to 6 and 6 teams, but Ole Miss lost at home to Kentucky, and I can't get past that.
And you know what? I don't care about the schedule in the ACC in the Big 12. You know why? Because it's 1-bid leagues. Okay, so
As long as they remain 1-bid leagues.
Alabama versus SMU. Come on.
Alabama's got the better
Come
resume.
on.
I'd love to
Come
take
on.
SMU in the game against them because I think they'd give Alabama's pass defense fits.
Oh, it'd
but
be
I don't
fun-
know that.
be fun,
but the resume,
they
no, it's
just have it.
Alabama.
Come on. I mean,
No,
at some point you got a reward schedule.
Yes, the resume
Okay.
is Alabama.
I mean, at some point, did we see when Army and Navy stepped up in class?
Yeah.
How did that work out?
Not well.
I mean, embarrassing.
Not
Routes against a team that's historically had problems stepping up in class themselves when they get to the playoff. That's why Brian Kelly is here, because Notre Dame couldn't compete at the highest level. But at some point, I do care about the inequities of the schedules in the Big Ten and the SEC, because those are at large teams. And everything is moving toward, they got the money, they got the bulk of the talent. But, man, Texas and South Carolina schedule, Texas and Oklahoma schedule, Texas and Florida schedule, that's not fair, man.
Take us to break. I'm back to Alabama. I got to throw up. Take us to break.
This is unbelievable. I'm buckled. You ever see that when you're sitting dead red and you throw you a curveball and they buckle your knees? That's me right now with Charlie's commentary. Live at lunch, live at walk-ons. We got the doors open over here. What a beautiful day here in the capital city and over here on the West Bank of 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Get Moss Max and less text during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and Dip Trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, or cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Attention, vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Siegen near Perkins.
Boudreaux's Electrical, where every client is a VIP 24/7. No subscriptions, just unwavering commitment to your power needs with Generac home standby generators. Boudreaux's treats you like family, not just another outage. Visit Boudreaux'Electrical.com.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Citizens Bank and Trust are bringing you the ultimate holiday gift with our Home for the Holiday sweepstakes. Imagine 2025 with your rent or mortgage covered up to $18,000. We're here to make your holidays a whole lot brighter. Just sign up at 1045ESPN.com and you could be living stress-free next year. Home for the Holidays is presented by Citizens Bank and Trust. The winner will be notified on December 20th. Sign up now at 1045ESPN.com.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padiel at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com.
At Lofton, we're in the business of matching hard workers with some of the most sought-after employers in the Baton Rouge area. To Lofton, you're more than just another employee. We care about your interests, and we can help match you with a company that needs your skills. You can complete an application, schedule an interview, and even browse jobs by simply going to lofton.jobs. That's lofton.jobs. We also offer an unlimited $100 referral bonus. At Lofton, we put people to work. Lofton.jobs.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large, because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or a Pro Desk for details.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
You heard that from
Grainger,
the
for the
SEC
ones
commission.
who get it done.
Bow and waterfowl season is open, and Southern Outfitters is your one-stop shop. Fully stocked with decoys, full-service bow repair, and sales. Tree stands, hang-ons, and hunting apparel for the entire family. Visit Southern Outfitters in Zachary and at southernoutfittersla.com.
Conference schedule.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Walk-Ons in Brusly on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Back here at Walk-Ons in Brusly live at lunch. Well, we had a lot of things hold up in the NFL this weekend, huh? The things that we believed. We don't think the Bears are very good at the end of games. Check. We don't think the Dolphins can play in cold weather. Check. We don't think the Chiefs can cover against very many people, but they're going to find a way to win games. Check. We don't think the Bengals can play defense. Check. Aaron Rodgers is done as an NFL quarterback. Check. What am I? The Eagles right this second or the second best team in football behind the Lions?
Oh, they're just as good as the Lions.
Yeah.
Right now, they got it straight. You know, we've had a lot of conversation about Jalen Hurts, but he was a turnover machine early. So what do? They shift the running game, and Barkley is phenomenal. Barkley is, as far as individual players of the league, he's the MVP of the league. As much as Josh Allen has done for Buffalo, because he does not have a great supporting cast, they do have more of a running game. I'm talking about the running game and hand it off. And you saw that last night when the kid from Georgia busted it for about 80 yards for a touchdown. They're getting more production. But Philadelphia is number one in the NFL out of 32 teams, number one in rushing attempts per game. And they are number 32, dead last, in passing attempts per game. And they have shifted to more of Hurts as a game manager. And that's what he is. You can't, and they got a great supporting cast. Now, the best unit, the most valuable unit, no question, that's that Detroit offensive line. And they can hand the ball off. So when Jared Goff goes through a little bit of a funk, and he's good. He's a good quarterback. But he's not a guy that's going to carry you on his back. You can't throw him 40 times. Threw it 40 times one time this year. It's the only game they lost against Tampa Bay. So, he had the 5 interceptions. I get it. I mean, he's going to have a little funk here and there. But you can win with Jared Goff, but not as a guy that's just going to throw it 40, 45 times a game. So the Eagles are a complete team. They didn't know exactly what they had out in Barkley. They know now, and he is tough to deal with. Tucker's missed field goals and extra point shifted the game because Baltimore was getting the best of Philadelphia for a while, and that hurt them. So in the games this year, man, Baltimore. Talk about Lamar Jackson having an MVP year. This night he's already won 2. They're a great team. But, man, they're not quite as good on defense. And Tucker is just these close games. Their record is not close to what it was last year.
He has
They had the number 1 seed. They're not sniffing the number 1 seed this year.
Justin Tucker, who is probably going to be in the Hall of Fame one day.
Yes, I think he's done enough to.
If his name was Justin Smith, he might have been cut over what he's done the last 5 games. They've essentially lost to Pittsburgh and Philadelphia because of kicks that he has missed that he should have made, including extra points. The guy's been as good as anybody that's ever kicked
he's
a
never
football,
done
but
this game until this week.
I
okay?
mean,
he missed 3. He's never missed 3 in a game.
No, he never missed 3 in a game.
Okay, but last year he's 1 for 5 on 50-plus yards.
And he missed 2 makeable field goals against Pittsburgh. They lost the game by 2.
And he's 2 for 7 this year.
Yeah.
He's 3 for his last 12, 50-plus. You don't have a guy kick 50-plus yard field goals. You need to move on.
Yeah.
In the NFL.
Like I said, if his name was Justin Smith, he might have been cut today.
You think they're going to bring some guys in?
Who?
So you think when you say bring guys in, you're going to cut him? No. I think you're going to do both.
Yeah.
I think you're going to bring guys in, and you're going to keep him on a roster.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, you're going to make it.
I've seen Sean Payton cut kickers for less than this. Okay,
well, Sean Payton's a little bit impulsive.
He is.
Okay, this is the Baltimore Ravens,
and this is different. I mean, this is not some kicker off the street. This is Justin Tucker. So yeah, bring some guys in.
But he's in the funk. His putter is gone. He's got the yips.
Yeah.
He's Steve Saxon, Knobloch at first. He's Rick Ankiel trying to throw strikes. He's got nothing.
No.
I mean, he's got nothing right now. And how about how the 2 struggling kickers were treated by their head coach yesterday? Same time. You only had 3 games going at 3.
Yeah. Okay.
So you saw John Harbaugh.
He hugged him.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Who's the best? Some of the best coaches in the league, and who are the worst coaches with kickers? I tell you right here at LSU, you got 2 of them that were as horrendous. 2 of the best coaches ever come through Tiger Stadium.
Arnsparger's one.
Boom, there you go. Killed Magic Juan. Juan Patantos was all SEC. He duck snorted one in, a 50-plus yard field goal, which is like a 20% proposition.
That wasn't even the one I hated the most. The one I hated the most when he let Brown Dyke kick against Ohio State and they ended up turning the ball over, and the game ended tied at 13. Brown Dyke would have made that kick. But yes, Arnsparger won.
Arnsparger was saving terrible.
Yeah,
terrible. Now his kickers won, but how many games in Alabama did they lose because no kicking? Do you think he didn't have his choice? What kicker he brought in?
Bobby Bowden probably lost 2 national championships behind.
I don't think Bowden was that gone, but just see the head coach for the Saints was what before? He's a special teams coach.
Yeah,
that's how you treat your kicker. You MF him.
Yeah,
coming off the field. I think he's trying. I mean, well, guess what? That ain't a way to pick him up. I'm sorry, it's a little bit of psychology. It's that putter. You think when our boy Max, the greatest player from Texas, but the best player in the world right now,
Scotty Scheffler.
Okay, his putter's going bad.
We've seen it at times. Yeah.
Well, what does his putting coach do? Does he MF him?
Some guys need a pat on the back. Some of them need a kick in the seat.
Closers, putters, place kickers. They're all mental. They're all going to miss a couple. Can you get back out of it? Do you let them? Carlson. Did we not? Who was the best kicker to come through the SEC? Is that Carlson? He got cut from Minnesota. Missed some kicks.
Right.
He's with the Raiders now. They missed one on Friday. But, I mean, you knew he was going to be back.
Been one of the best ones.
I think they're going to bring some kickers in. Maybe I think they're going to make an extra consideration and keep Tucker on the team as well.
Saquon Barkley has 1,499 yards rushing, which puts him on pace to break Eric Dickerson's record by about 20 yards if he plays the rest of the season. 4 of their final 5 games are against the teams that are ranked 32nd, 31st, 30th, and 29th in rushing defense in the league.
Who has the most per game per year? Was it Dickerson? I mean, was OJ?
Might have been OJ.
14,
OJ did 2014 games.
Dickerson at 16, and it's based on 17 games.
Mm-hmm. And then he's also on pace to break the record for yards from scrimmage, which was Chris Johnson with the Titans in 2009 at 2,501. If a running back's going to win the MVP, we said it was going to take a Herculean effort. Well, this would qualify.
Are the owners all going to vote? Say no more Hard Knocks. No more Hard Knocks.
I think the owners have already voted on that and said no Hard Knocks, and the commissioner says we make money on it. It's popular. It's good for the game. Do it anyway.
So behind the scenes was basically Eberflus show.
Yeah,
I mean it's the Eberflus show, right? How'd that work out for him?
Not well.
Okay.
Although I wouldn't blame his demise on Hard Knocks, but no.
Okay. Well. How the
I just thought he was a bad coach. Besides
the Giants' Hard Knocks was a look behind the curtain with the general manager.
Right.
How's he look? Who's had a worse year than him?
Not very many people. Not very many people at all.
Not just the Barkley deal, but the commitment to Jones, and now you even cut him. And now he's somebody on somebody else's team free.
Right. Most of the teams behind the scenes lobby hard to stay off of Hard Knocks. You got to fit. It can't be a playoff team. It can't be a team with a new coach. So there's a limited amount of teams that are eligible for this thing. And Sean Payton, when he was with the Saints, bent over backwards to make sure that they wouldn't pick the Saints if he had anything to say about it. There's only one team in the NFL that actively wants to be on Hard Knocks. Guess which one?
The Jets.
Good guess, but no.
No.
The Cowboys, because of the owner. Okay.
Yes.
Every other owner is trying to get out of this thing.
No. Makes a world of sense. There's no doubt. He cares more about. I mean, the branding, the value. I mean, it's a museum. Did
you read the thing about the tours that go through the practice facility?
Yes, where the guy's trying to work out. I said, man, what are we, a museum or are we a damn gym here?
Here comes the tour.
Yes,
and they ain't shutting them down.
That sums it up. That sums it up. He wants to sell tickets. And do you see the people when they open the door? They're running in there. They dying to go to the Cowboys games, and they suck.
They don't know it's a game. They think it's a show.
It is. It is a show more than competition. There's no doubt. don't forget our friends over here at Walk-Ons. Man, we got the doors open now. It is a beautiful day. It's that kind of, you don't know what kind of day it's going to be from day to day. And that's why we have the flexibility of raising these garage-style doors and getting it open air over here, or that could be a little bit chilly over the weekend as well. So we don't want to shut those down. Walk-Ons in Brusly, seasonal tap. Yes, always rotating for the seasonal beers. In the holiday season, we certainly have some of those specialty ones as well. Always great menu, great service. Walk-Ons here in Brusly.
Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite.
Whenever you're ready.
All right, it's rolling.
This is Charles Hannegriff. Join us for the Tuesday edition of Live at Lunch from Mike Anderson Seafood, Wesley at Nicholson. Andy Esco joins us from Las Vegas, and we do first class, second class, no class. Live at Lunch from Mike Anderson's on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Warm your home this fall with Cajun Soft Wash. Their soft washing solution removes dirt and algae without damage, enhancing your home's curb appeal and extending your roof's life. Locally owned and fully insured. Book now at CajunSoftWash.com.
Previous hailstorms have caused hidden damage to countless Baton Rouge homes. Ryson Roofing spots the damage, makes the claim, and replaces your roof. You pay only your insurance deductible. Never anything more. Call Ryson Roofing today and schedule your free inspection. 330-3513. RysonRoofing.com.
GMFS, changing lives.
T. Brown here, CEO of GMFS Mortgage, which we started in Baton Rouge in 1999. Thanks to you, we're celebrating our 25th anniversary. That's 25 years of helping thousands of you get into your dream homes. 25 years of helping thousands of you refinance to the best rate possible. And 25 years of helping many of you consolidate debts. The last 25 years would not have been possible without you, our clients, and our over 200 employees who come together every day through our Baton Rouge area offices and headquarters to provide you with award-winning customer service. If you're in the market to buy, build, renovate, or refinance, do what thousands of Louisianans have done over the past 25 years. Go to gmfsmortgage.com to start the process now and give us a chance to personally say thank you.
GMFS, changing lives.
GMFS NMLS number 64997 is an equal housing lender. Mortgages originated at 7389 Florida Boulevard, Suite 200A, Baton Rouge, LA 70806, subject to credit and property approval.
Please consider making a donation locally through St. Vincent de Paul that truly helps people in need. If you have a boat, car, motorcycle, RV, clothing, housewares, or furniture you no longer use, please consider donating it to St. Vincent de Paul. This donation could get you a tax deduction. Visit svdpbr.org.
This is Charles Hannegriff for Supreme Rice. We always ask you to support our Louisiana farmers. Well, Supreme Rice has a long history of working with those Louisiana farmers in developing and maintaining sustainable farming practices. And now their Climate Smart program supports farming practices that reduce methane emissions and support water conservation, positively impacting the longevity of rice farming for future generations. So the next time you shop for rice, make it Supreme Rice. For more information and great recipes, go to supremerice.com and look for the Climate Smart logo on Supreme Rice bags coming soon.
Looking for an exciting career? Guarantee Media is hiring. Go to guaranteemedia.com to see open positions and apply today. Guarantee Media is an equal opportunity employer. Guaranteemedia.com.
We are the soldiers of the Louisiana Army National Guard. We are your neighbors. We are your sons and daughters. While we serve part-time, we are learning valuable life and job skills. We are earning money for college, for trade and technical schools, and for certifications. We are proud to serve both our country and our home state. We are your Louisiana Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Getting got your heart rate up? Know when it's time to see a cardiologist. Every second counts, no matter the playing field. Call Cardiovascular Institute of the South today to stay in the game. Learn more or schedule at cardio.com.
Hi, this is Jake and James of Trash Rangers of Louisiana. Have a question, a problem, call us. We answer the phone. 225-363-9053.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Walk-Ons in Brusly on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Woodweek's SEC Defensive Player of the Week, 15 more tackles for him. Aaron Anderson with the kickoff return for a touchdown. SEC Special Teams Player of the Week. And Dominic McKinley, SEC Freshman of the Week. The freshman defensive tackle had 2 sacks.
Really?
Yeah, he's really started to come on here the last few weeks.
There you go.
Yeah, some building blocks on that defense that are emerging. Keys, the young players that got in that game the other night, you can see it. There's some talent out there that started to come on the battle part. Devon Keys is another one that played really well on Saturday night. So, a little hardware for the Tigers.
He got tonight.
Broncos
minus points.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay the points. I'm not gonna believe in Jameis Winston's ability to go on the road and beat a team that is playing pretty well. I'm not calling it field rush fade or anything like that, but it was a pretty emotional win against Pittsburgh last week.
Jameis after,
and I don't think he duplicates that. I think Denver's been getting better and better. They're a missed field goal at Kansas City away from really having gotten everybody's attention. So I like the Broncos minus the 6.
They won a fair share of close games as well. But the one thing that is just a steady improvement is Bo Nix under Peyton.
Yep. Thanks to the folks here at Walk-Ons in Brusly. Stop by for your seasonal brews here on Highway 1. Tomorrow we're at Mike Anderson's. For Jimmy and for Max, for Jordan back in the studio, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. And stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At lunch.
Majestic Metals is
All right, you guys have a good one.
Thanks, Jordan. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Majestic Metals is the leading metal roofing manufacturer with high-quality products, superior customer service, and a fast turnaround. We offer both commercial and residential roofing, including a standing seam panel in a variety of colors with a 40-year paint warranty. A metal roof can add value to your home and is energy efficient. Call Majestic Metals at 225-675-3800 and talk to our knowledgeable sales staff for all your commercial